Hey everyone, welcome to Average Joe Preparedness. My name's Rick, and I'm an Average Joe. In today's video, we're gonna go over a bunch of stuff. Gonna try to cram as much as I can in because time is of the essence. I checked out the news today, looked at the feeds, and yeah, the world's still going crazy. So, need to get a bunch of information out there. We're gonna catch up on a few things. Then I'm going to show you how to maintain some of the things that are around your house. I'm going to do it because that's what I do. You're gonna have to watch. But the idea is that you understand that these things can be done. Gonna talk a little bit about saving money so that you can become financially prepared, get that preparedness mindset when it comes to your finances and everything else. And then at the end, if you stick around, we're gonna do a little bit of prepper stuff. But again, let's focus on what's important, and that's the steps in getting there. Yes? Okay, first let's do a little catch up. It's funny. The leg, for those of you who've been following, it's doing well, it's healing well. I still can't show it to you because it looks terrible. I don't know if you've ever seen a burn when it's healing, but it looks terrible. And then again, we'd have to have the video that says this contains potentially disturbing images or whatever. So I'm not going to show you. Maybe I'll show you when it's all done because it's going to have a really cool scar. If anybody cares, I'm just goofing. The next thing that happened. Yes, I harvested my first potatoes that I'm growing in 5-gallon buckets. We'll get to growing food another time, but just to let you know, it was a failure. That's right. So I modified and redid, and again, it's another thing. But for those of you that think growing food is easy, I think I saw a politician say something, doesn't matter who, but I think they said something like, well, what's the big deal about farmers? All I gotta do is throw some seeds in the ground and the stuff comes up. All right, well, I've been gardening, and again, we'll do videos on this later. I've been gardening for 2 years, and I'm failing. I'm succeeding in some things, but failing in others. They say it takes like 2 or 3 years before you can actually figure stuff out, maybe more like 3 or 4. Yeah. And finally, on the lovely lady in my life's vehicle, if you guys don't know this, on the brake pads, they have these little metal tabs, and I was raised to call them crickets because when it wears down and they come up against the disc, they rub up against it and they squeak, they make a noise, they chirp. And that's how you know that your brake pads need to be changed, that they're wearing out. So anyways, she had some brake pads that need to be changed out. Just the ones in back, the ones in front are actually looking pretty cool. They're still looking good. So one set of brake pads, that's it, need to be changed out. And I did it. I don't think that surprises anybody if you've been watching these videos for a bit. So went and got the parts. They're guaranteed for life. So when they wear out again, just go get the parts, still have to do the labor. And they cost like $50, give or take, if I'm not mistaken, for everything. And if you Google real fast what the average price is, the average is $150 per axle. It can go from 100 all the way up to 300 depending on your vehicle, depending on what you have. I've actually seen it be more than that. But so $150, cost us $50, saved $100 doing it myself. Again, shouldn't surprise you guys. Try to build skills and become independent. So for those of you who may be thinking when you watch my videos, where am I gonna get this money to do all these things, become financially independent, and then eventually get stuff? And okay, one of the things you can do, and I've been bringing it up often, is become more independent. Do things on your own. Value your labor exchange, the money that you get from your job, and learn skills. So yeah, so change out the brake pads. If you don't have a lot of experience, you can ask neighbors or friends, and you can watch a bunch of YouTube videos. There's lots of them out there and they're really good, but yeah, learn skills and then you'll build up your tools. You'll have to buy tools to do it. I had to buy a new tool, in which case now it's mine. You see, it's in my toolbox. That's what I'm pointing at over there, my toolbox. And so in the future, I can use it. So these things build and they build and they build. And that's how you move in that direction. Yes? All right, next is I'm about to do a little scheduled maintenance on one of the items around the house. I'm gonna tell you a little story and then I'm gonna show you how I do it, but it'll be edited so you don't have to listen to the vacuum and stuff. Anyways, doesn't matter. What we have, I'm gonna look away from the camera. What we have right here is an iRobot. Now somebody out there's gotta be like, hey, those things are expensive. How'd you get that, Rick? When you're talking about, saving money and doing all that stuff. And no, you're absolutely right. These things can be pricey. You get the inexpensive ones, and then the new ones, let's just forget about it. I'm not even going there. These things can be pricey. Don't get me wrong. However, let me tell you this. I'll tell you the story on how we got this one and how it was just crazy. Because I believe in positive karma. And I think if you are truly a good person, not like, hey man, I'm a good person. No, if you're truly a good person, I think good things can happen to you. It's just the way I see life, but hey, what do I know? But anyways, let me tell you about this Roomba. Let me tell you a story. So it was a few years ago, I think, when this model just came out, and it was like the latest one, which it isn't anymore, but I think it was right about that time frame. Anyways, happened to be shopping for something else. We went into a store, and they were having one of those days where they were like, every single thing in the store was like 30% off. It was crazy. It was just, and we're like, hey, well, we need some things. Let's go in there and go shopping. Not looking for this. And then we saw it, and in that section, that area, it was like everything's 40% off. We're like, whoa, that's 40% off of things. This is cool. We're looking at this. It's still a little expensive though. However, the manufacturer on top of it was, I don't know if they were trying to get this one to sell and it wasn't selling, or they wanted to get the word out, or it might have been during that time in life, you know how things are, where the economy goes up and down and the manufacturers need to do things to get people to buy. I don't know. But they were having a discount on top of this. You with me so far? So we had a conversation and we're, it's still a little pricey. Do we really need this? By the way, like anything, only get something that you need. It makes your life better. And these things can. They can. You can multitask. They don't really clean the carpet. They pick up the stuff and they get under the beds and they help you out. You still need to vacuum. But they knock stuff down and it saves you time. So I'm an advocate of these if they're used right. So then we went up to the guy that was in the area in that section. We were talking to him and he was like, and we're like, how much would this be? And he's like, well, it'd be this. And it was like, wow, that's a really good price. And he said, hey, but you made sure you brought your 20% coupon, didn't you? We're like, what? And he goes, no, you're not listening. You brought your 20% coupon, didn't you? And we're like, yes. And he goes, good. So he actually could ring it up but not take the money, and we had to go up to the front to pay for it. But then he took another 20% off for, I don't know why, but it was sure nice of him. So finally, we get up to the front of the store. We're going to pay for it. Here's the little, the little receipt thing that says how much this is going to cost. And she was going to ring it up. And then just happened to ask, hey, you guys do military discount, don't you? And she's like, yes, 10%. So on top of everything, guys, and you can add it up, and it's exponential because they don't add them all up and take it off. It's like 40%, then whatever the reduced thing is, they'll take 20% off of that. And then whatever that is, they'll take 10% off of that. They don't add it all up. The point being is, lucky, we were very lucky and got this for a ridiculous price. It was just, I almost felt bad, to be honest. However, it was all above board. This was the sale they were having. This was the manufacturer sale they were having. They did have a 20% coupon. The guy actually pulled it out of his pocket. He had a book of them and used it. And they actually did give military discounts. So yeah, that's how I ended up with something that some of you might be saying, wow, that's really expensive. I can never afford that. I probably couldn't have afforded it either. So now this Roomba is old. And in Roomba time, it's ancient. It is years old, years and years. And a lot of people don't own things like this for very long. They break down, blah, blah, blah. You can see them on, the internet if you go on local web pages that sell stuff, or they're giving it away or whatever in your area. I see these. Mine lasts. And besides the little scratches and stuff that you might see, I don't know if you can see it or not, it works really well. That's because I maintain it. Like most things, I try, if I can, to maintain it. And if I have my way, this thing is gonna last years and years more, because the longer you have something that lasts and works as it needs to, the more money you're saving. It's almost an investment, because if you just have to get rid of it, recycle it, throw it away, whatever, and buy a new one, that's a waste. So I maintain it, and I'm gonna actually show you guys how to do it real quick. You probably don't care, but that's not the point. And if you guys have seen my videos, it's not that I'm actually gonna show you this, which, you know, will give you some confidence if you decide to do something like that. Maybe you guys are figuring out what I'm talking about. There's other things going on in this video. Yes? Yes. Now, instead of pulling you guys down and setting here, I'm actually gonna just do it right here. I might show you my back, which I don't think you're ever supposed to do. Anyways, I'm gonna take it apart real fast. Hopefully this won't take very long. Then I'm gonna cut away from you guys while I clean it, because my shop vac makes a lot of noise. It's a cheap shop vac. It does its job, but it makes a lot of noise. You get what I'm saying? And then we'll come back and I'll show you me putting it back together again, and the parts. I'm actually gonna change out parts to this because I get them off the internet. I can actually show you right over here. See this? These are the parts that get changed out sometimes. Now this time, I am not changing out the rollers because, and I'll show you why in a second, doesn't matter. And then this is the little brush that spins around. I will be changing this out. And this is the filter. Now, I actually clean the filters regularly, but they still do need to be changed out once in a while. And that's what I'm gonna do. When you get these kits, obviously there's multiple filters, multiple rollers. It also comes with tools. Every single time, I've got a pile of them because I order these regularly, and I've been doing it for years. So I found out in my experience that when I order these, and I do it often, you'll notice they come in, there's multiple things in the package. Usually you can get it cheaper if you buy, that's what I've found when it comes to these. And then I maintain, and in me buying these over the years, it still hasn't even come close to adding up to what this thing would cost to replace. So yes, I'm learning a skill on how to maintain this. I'm maintaining something I own. I am maintaining something that I own. This is my value here. And yeah, I keep it working well. I don't get frustrated with it, and I save me money. Yes? Yes. And that's what this is, one of the things that this is about. Saving money and learning skills. So, how about we get to taking this thing apart? It's actually not that hard. Now again, I'm gonna try to do this as quick as I can because videos tend to get long. But basically, flip it over, see what it looks like. This right here is where the dirt and stuff get, and it's also where the filter is. Now I'll be vacuuming this out and changing out the filter. I'll show you, not the vacuuming part because it's really loud, like I said. The next thing you have are the rollers. Get that right there. These are the rollers, and they can be removed, and I'm actually gonna take them out to clean this area right here, and then you can just replace them. And then this is that little spinny thing. It goes around sucking up the dirt and pushing it in here. You'll notice it's held on by a screw. I'll be taking that off. And then I'll be taking off this bottom cover, which exposes the internals because I'm gonna clean them out. And then this right here is the cover for the battery place. So it may make some noise. Cool. Let's start tearing this thing apart. What do you say? Again, when it comes to the rollers, I'm gonna take them out real quick. I don't wanna get in the way, guys, so you guys can actually see this. Yeah, they're dirty. And we're gonna clean them up, but we're gonna put these back in because the treads on them, if you rub your hands, these will eventually wear down. Not joking. So the treads on them are still good, but as you can tell, they're dirty. So we'll put those back in. This whole area right here will be all vacuumed out and clean. There's an actual sensor down in here that detects dirt, and it will say that the little disposal area is full. Well, you need to clean that. Now you do it with Q-tips and an alcohol swab. I'll show you. You need to use alcohol. And then, so that way the sensor keeps working. And then to remove, that's just that simple. Now I'm going to take advantage of this moment to show you this. See this little tool right here? Yeah, it's small. It's Black & Decker. I don't get anything from Black & Decker, guys. It just happens to be what it is. This thing's old. This thing's ancient. It's a teeny little thing and you plug it in and it recharges. Don't think I've ever changed out the batteries, but it comes in really handy. I take care of it and it takes care of me. Don't replace it. Try not to replace things unless they break. If it still works, why not keep it? Does that make sense? So once those are off, and you have to take the ones off the cover of the battery too, because that holds it down, you just basically lift it up. And the reason I do that is because dirt and junk and it gets in here. You guys can see it right there. And yeah, if you just let it go, eventually it's gonna clog up gears and it's gonna mess with the electrical system, and it's just bad. And if I gotta explain that, why you need to keep things clean if you want to keep things working, then we're gonna have to start videos really basic. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take these parts out, but I'm gonna go ahead and clean all this up with a vacuum, and then we're coming back because, again, vacuum's loud. Okay, so as promised, I used the vacuum. You guys run around, you didn't have to hear it. But basically what I did, you caught me with my readers. I'm old. Basically what I did was, as I said, this was all vacuumed out. This is where the filter goes, and this is the actual container that the whatever gets vacuumed up is in. I vacuumed that all out. I vacuumed up the bottom of this, and I cleaned up the rollers because just like a regular vacuum, things get spun around. Mostly it's on the ends. But again, these are still good. So, and yeah, and the little indicator, the little sensor in there that detects dirt, I just cleaned it off with a little isopropyl alcohol. And yeah, you'll notice, and again, I'm not getting anything from this, but this will come in just a little bit. You'll notice it is a no-name brand alcohol, because alcohol is alcohol, people. You understand what I'm saying? So now I have alcohol for doing that, but let's tie something together real quick for those of you that are paying attention. I have this, and I don't know if you guys actually pay attention to what's back here, but it doesn't move around that much. So this goes right up in here, and I have it organized a certain way. It doesn't really matter. But I also have this up here. Now, if you go camping, go to the beach, spend time in the sun, this is aloe vera, 100% gel, and it's really good for sunburn, it's good for your skin. But that's not the point. The point is, I have this because we go camping and hiking and we spend time outside. Yes? You guys might have it too. I don't know, it's just pretty little aloe vera. But I have it up here, and I also happen to have alcohol that I use to clean electronic components. Okay, today's trivia question, all right? You put your comments down below, maybe. I don't think anybody's gonna do it, but I'm gonna play anyways. If you take isopropyl alcohol and you have aloe vera gel, what can you make? And how does that apply to the world today? Okay, so putting this back together again, I just have an old toothbrush that I use. I keep that around, that's what I cleaned it up with. Just put that right back up there. And it basically goes back together fairly simple. I'll see if I can not mess this up on camera, because I try not to edit so that way people can see how things really are, how difficult they really are. Somebody say, you need to edit your videos, right? You need to make them perfect so that way, everything looks good and, nothing's wrong in your videos and they look really professional. And okay, that's cool, but that's not what I'm trying to show you. I'm trying to show you that an average Joe can do this. That's the point of my videos. Is not that to go above anybody's head or whatever. I'm trying to show everyone out there who will pay attention that just regular people can do these things. So let's finish this up real quick. Tighten down the screws. We're changing out, this is the old little brush. This is the new little brush. This will just go in the garbage when we're done. This is the assembly, like I said, that collects the stuff, but this is the filter. and just insert the new one. Put the cover plate back on. It's upside down because this is upside down. Goes back into place. Basically, that's it. Now I clean the filter probably after each use. Or I should say, yeah, probably each use or each day I use it. And then, because these filters are, you just vacuum it in the opposite direction if you guys don't know how to clean a filter. So it keeps the filters good for a while. And then probably once a month, I'll check it and I'll change the filters out, and I usually change these out. And then I check to see how the rollers are doing, to see if they wear down. If the rollers are looking bad, then I change them out. And then once I get to changing out the last pieces of equipment, I go ahead and order more. That way I can maintain it. I've been maintaining this thing for years, and hopefully I will be maintaining it for years to come. All right, let's put this all away, and then we're going to, or set it aside. And then we're going to talk a little bit, as promised, about how to save money. Then we'll talk about prepping. But first we'll do a little bit about how to save money. Now, for those of you who are paying attention, hopefully you already got a little lesson or two about how to save money. If not, let me give you a couple more. The Q-tips. The Q-tips or let's start with the alcohol. The alcohol I used, you notice there was a no name. Because alcohol is alcohol. It doesn't matter what alcohol you get. What you get is alcohol. It doesn't matter. Get whatever's inexpensive. And then the Q-tips that I use. You guys ready? Today's trivia question. Which one of these Q-tips is like the best known brand? And that doesn't mean that this one's it. And which one of these Q-tips is a no-name brand? Guys see that? Does it really matter? Does it matter when I just clean that off? Which one of these is a no-name? And which? No, it doesn't matter. But I'll tell you what does matter, the money you spend. Okay, so we've talked about water in one of the videos, and we'll go into an in-depth. Remember when I showed you a bottomless water? And again, I don't get anything, guys. And this one was kind of, probably didn't want to go in a bag or anything that you're transporting because the little thing is kind of weak and it can easily poke a hole. But for around your house, if you want to drink bottled water, it's water, people. Do you understand that? It's water. So again, no name brand. It doesn't matter. What matters is the price. And now, let's say we have a Keurig. Little coffee things, and yeah, no name brand. It's donut shop, no name brand. Does it matter? No, it actually doesn't. Try a comparison and see. Some people say it does. If you take it and put it in and nobody knows, you'd be surprised. And if you want to get it even more inexpensive, but you still want to use a good brand of coffee, good, what you think, the one that's got flavor, instead of getting these little K-cups, which you'll find are more expensive. If you guys actually look at the price per unit or price per ounce, you guys ever seen one of these? Yeah, goes in a K-cup. You actually just take coffee, you put a scoop of coffee in there, and then you use this in your K-cup. And the price is ridiculous when it comes to actually the K-cups or this. And if you use this, then you're getting away from more packaging, you're getting away from the plastic, and it's just a better thing all around. The point I'm trying to make is money, saving money. Okay, with that, we're gonna transition into, I said we're gonna do something for the preppers, okay? And if you are starting off, if you're in the middle, or if you're up here, it doesn't matter. Here. And it doesn't matter what contingency you're setting yourself up for. I think you should do it for all of them, but I think it would be hard for people to argue that you need a flashlight, okay? When I was working on the car, I needed a flashlight. If the electricity goes out because of a storm, you need a flashlight if it's night. If someone gets into a wreck and hits a power pole, or you need a flashlight. So let's go ahead and talk about flashlights real quick. Some people might want one of these. By the way, I test stuff out because I want to know if I can use it. Now I got this, it was fairly inexpensive, and we'll get to those in a second. Here's the problem with it though. Pushing the button, not working. Nope. Hit it. This thing works sometimes, and this thing doesn't work sometimes. And it's depressing, if that makes sense. Now, I keep it around because I don't like throwing stuff away, and I'm trying to figure out if I can eventually fix it. But you know what? No. So it stays here in the garage. Test things out. Are you with me so far? So test things out. Now, I just, see how it works. But watch this. You guys ready? Turns off. Anyways, again, I'm gonna try to fix it. Don't know if I can. Oh, I'm blind. But whatever it is you use for anything, I wear stuff out. I treat it poorly a little bit. I treat it rough. I treat it like I'm gonna use it. Because if I'm out camping or if there's a contingency, I want my flashlight to work. And everything else. You with me? So, see this package? I'm not getting anything from this, guys. Rayovac. People think that maybe that's cheap, doesn't matter. Rayovac batteries, people don't like them. If you do a little research, you'll find out these are actually really good batteries. But, same diff. This is, I bought this package before. See a flashlight? Look, it comes on. I beat it, it still works. Yes? Well, still works unless I hit the button, turn it off. So I've dropped it. And now it's gonna mess up for me right here on camera. Nope, there it is. I loosened the thing up. So what I'm getting at is, it's a nice little package of 3. It's not that expensive. Where I got it, I don't, you know. Like, I'm not gonna tell you where I got it, but I'll tell you it rhymes with Paul Tart. How does that sound? Okay, I got it at Walmart, I'm just kidding. Wasn't expensive, 3 flashlights. I have one out in the garage, I have one in the drawer, and I use them. Yes? Okay, you want a prepper tip? Get flashlights. Now be aware, these are not the only flashlights I have other ones. My point is that you need to get flashlights. So, and if you want the really big cool ones and the ones that flash, because these don't, but I think if it's gonna work, there it is. Yes, if you want ones that do that, so it's all tactical or whatever, but see, it turns off. Anyways, if you want those, that's fine. If you want to spend a lot of money, if you can, I have no issue with that. But if you're just starting off, this is, again, 3 flashlights, batteries. The batteries last. Again, if you want to Google Rayovac batteries, you'll find out that they're not that bad. They're in the top 10 percentile. And it's a good place to start, and you get 3. So, if you want to start prepping, if you don't have flashlights already, get a flashlight. And it goes across the spectrum from needing it to use around the house. I use this flashlight all the time when I'm doing little projects, like I said, working on the car. If a storm comes, if something bigger, you need a flashlight. Okay, I'm sure this video is already too long. I'll find out when I edit, doesn't matter. But let's go ahead and wrap it up. So we started off with brakes on the car. Learning how to do things like that saves you money. That's how I get things. People are like, well, how did you get stuff? Well, I saved $100. And that's on average. It actually would have cost more on that vehicle, which is now parked here. She came home while I was shooting this video. So it actually would have cost more on her vehicle. But it didn't, because I did it. So learning how to, I'm going to actually say, having a positive outlook on life and positive karma, doing good things. I go through life now believing that good things happen to good people. So, but let's put that aside for a second. Maintaining what you have, whether it's this or regular vacuum. I actually do a regular vacuum, which we'll probably see one day. And in case you're wondering, that's what the parts are for. I have all this stuff up here. So maintaining things. Understanding that that money is you. You earned it. You earned it one way or another. So again, it's a means of exchange of your labor, your time, and your skills. Next, we touched base a little bit. You want to know how to save money? If it's inexpensive, but it does the job, whether it's alcohol or whether it's Q-tips or whether it's water, or you can keep going. Again, I went with the coffee. And again, there's other ways of doing coffee. The little containers that you can just fill up with your favorite brand. You can get it wherever you want and you can just put it in there. Again, it's cheaper. Look cheaper. I don't mean, a lot of people think that that's a bad word. Well, that's cheap. Yeah, it's cheap and it saves me money. And if it does the same job, I don't care. You with me? And if you care, you need to ask yourself why. You need to say, well, why do I care for the look? Is it because, what, because of other people? So I don't understand that. So if you care, why do you care? And if you care because others might, what kind of people are those that you're letting in your life? You with me? And then we finish it off with the prepper tip of the day. Prepper tip of the day is, if you don't already have flashlights, get flashlights. Again, I have them because they get used, and most people do. Working on the car, working on projects, having to try to find something, you a flashlight. If you go camping, which I recommend, go camping in your backyard. You'll start figuring that stuff out. But and you're gonna need them in case of a contingency, from something small like the power just goes out or someone hits a power pole, to something larger like a bigger storm, a tornado or a hurricane, or even a bigger contingency. You're going to need flashlights. So go out, get one or two, test them, see if they work, see if they have issues, see if they're gonna be around for a while, because it's your money. And you want something that's gonna be there when you accidentally drop it. And does it still work? Because in a contingency, you're probably gonna maybe drop something. All right? Yes? Okay, as always, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, could you put something down in the comment section? But be constructive, please. Try to keep it positive, just asking. So yeah, like the video, share with other people. If you liked it, share. But if you think other people might get something out of this video, even if it's just humor, maybe a little bit. Subscribe if you're new here and you haven't got it, subscribe. And if so, I recommend going back and watching other videos. Now the last count, I have 10 subscribers. Yeah. So anyways, I'm going to put an email link down below. If you guys want to get a hold of me, for ideas, if you don't want to put in the comment section, for ideas for future videos, some things you might want me to test. You know what I'm saying? Under normal circumstances, so I can let you know if they're any good, or if it might work for you, what's good about things, what's bad about things. And if someone writes me, if someone does it, I'll keep it between the two of us. I don't do that. That's not what I do. So anyways, like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, please be happy, be positive, and be prepared.